Thinking about a winter vacation? Wait a minute. Before you book your tickets, you need to watch this video. I'm going to tell you about places you should definitely avoid this winter 2024. Winter travel can be magical. Snow-covered landscapes, cozy evenings by the fire, and new adventures. But not every destination shines in the winter months. In fact, some places can turn your dream trip into a real headache. Welcome to Explore the World. Today, I'll be showing you the places you might want to skip this winter 2024. Whether it's freezing weather, massive crowds, or new travel rules, these spots could leave you wishing you'd stayed home. So let's get started and see which popular destinations you might want to rethink before packing your bags. When choosing the places on this list, I didn't just pick them at random. I looked at a few important things to make sure you avoid any winter travel disasters. First, I considered the weather. Some spots get hit with extreme cold or heavy snow, making travel really tough. Next, I checked for recent travel warnings or restrictions that might mess up your plans. And finally, I thought about the overall experience. Overcrowded tourist spots or places that are just too expensive in peak season. These are all things that can turn your vacation into a stressful adventure. So, with all that in mind, let's take a closer look at the places you might want to avoid this winter. Number 1 is Venice, Italy. Now, don't get me wrong, Venice is one of the most beautiful cities in the world. But when I visited last winter, I quickly realized why it's not the best choice during this season. I arrived with high hopes of wandering the romantic canals and soaking in the rich history. But I met with something called acqua alta, or high tides. The streets were flooded and getting around became a real challenge. Instead of strolling through charming alleyways, I was wading through water in knee-high boots. The flooding is common during winter, and many of the city's attractions like St. Mark's Square were closed or hard to reach. On top of that, many restaurants and shops had limited hours or weren't open at all. Venice, while magical in other seasons, felt a bit lifeless in the cold. If you're dreaming of that picture-perfect Venice experience, winter might not be the best time to visit. Have you ever visited Venice in the winter? What was your experience like? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear if you faced the same challenges with flooding and the cold weather. Number 2 is Yellowstone National Park. One of my friends actually lives near the park, and she told me how different it is in the winter. While Yellowstone is absolutely stunning, winter turns it into a whole new challenge. Many of the roads close due to heavy snow, so getting around becomes really tough unless you're ready for a snowmobile adventure. The temperatures can drop way below freezing, making it hard to fully enjoy the park's beauty. My friend said that even though it's quieter with fewer tourists, the cold and limited access make it tough for most visitors to explore. So, unless you're up for some extreme winter conditions, Yellowstone might be a park to save for the warmer months. Number 3. Moscow, Russia. I have a friend who visited last winter, and she told me how tough it was to enjoy the sights. The temperatures can drop to bone-chilling levels, making sightseeing really uncomfortable. She mentioned that just walking around felt like a challenge, and it was hard to fully appreciate the beautiful architecture when all she wanted was to get indoors and warm up. On top of that, there are talks of potential travel restrictions in 2024, which adds another layer of uncertainty for international travelers. So, if you're dreaming of a winter wonderland, Moscow might not be the best choice this season. Has anyone traveled to Moscow during the winter? How did you handle the freezing temperatures? Share your stories in the comments. Number 4 is Santorini, Greece. You might want to think again. My husband actually went there with his friends a few years back in the winter, and he had a very different experience than what he expected. While he was excited to see the beautiful white buildings and stunning sunsets, he quickly discovered that winter is the off-season for the island. Many of the hotels and restaurants were closed, leaving him with limited options for food and places to stay. He told me how quiet it was, which sounds nice at first, but it also meant that the vibrant atmosphere Santorini is known for was completely missing. Plus, the weather wasn't beach-friendly at all. It was chilly and windy, so swimming was out of the question. Instead of soaking up the sun and enjoying the famous views, he found himself bundled up and searching for indoor activities. So, unless you're looking for a very different experience, you might want to save Santorini for the warmer months, when the island is full of life. Number 5 is New York City, especially in late December and early January. While the holiday season in New York is truly magical with beautiful lights and festive decorations, I have a friend who visited during that time a couple of years ago, and she had quite a different experience. The city is packed with tourists from all over the world, and navigating through the crowds can feel overwhelming. My friend mentioned that just getting to popular spots like Times Square or Central Park took way longer than expected. It wasn't just the crowds either. Hotel prices skyrocket during this peak season, making it tough to find a good deal. She ended up spending more than she planned just to get a decent place to stay. Plus, the weather can be brutally cold, and walking around the city in freezing temperatures is not as fun as it sounds. She said that after a few hours of exploring, all she wanted was to find a warm cafe, but those were crowded too. So, while New York City has its charm during the holidays, if you're looking for a relaxing winter getaway, it might be better to plan your visit for another time when you can truly enjoy all the city has to offer without the stress. If you've been to New York during the holiday season, did you enjoy it? Or was it just too crowded for you? Let me know your thoughts below. Now that we've talked about the places you might want to skip, let's look at some fantastic alternatives that are perfect for a winter getaway. If you're craving sunshine, why not consider Tenerife in the Canary Islands? My best friend went last winter, and she couldn't stop raving about the warm weather and beautiful beaches. It's the perfect escape from the cold. For something more unique, you could try Japan's onsens. These traditional hot springs offer a relaxing, one-of-a-kind experience, especially surrounded by snowy mountains. And if you're looking for culture without the freezing temperatures, Mexico City is a great choice. It's full of history, delicious food, and vibrant street life, all without the harsh winter chill. So, whether you're seeking sunshine, relaxation, or adventure, there's a perfect winter-friendly destination waiting for you. Why not explore something new this winter? And there you have it. These are the places you might want to avoid this winter. While each destination has its charm, winter just isn't the best time to visit. But don't worry, with a little planning, your winter vacation can still be incredible. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more travel tips from Explore the World, and check out my other videos too, showing on the screen. I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me where you're planning to travel this winter. Make the background music upbeat and energetic.